Hi, this is a reading for you. It is not attached to a zodiac sign nor a timeline. The intention is if you come across this reading, it should benefit you in some way. That being said, I've pulled some cards for you here. There's a sense of inspiration. Maybe some energy coming back if you've been particularly lethargic. Now, it's interesting, this reading, because it almost reveals subtleties that you have overlooked. I want to go ahead and lead with, this is a very triumphant and powerful reading, and it holds a nugget of wisdom in there as well. You may end up going through a change, maybe even faster than you anticipate. And on that same note, you may have to make difficult choices in order to move forward. It's almost as if, say that you, because this almost implies that you are presented with a situation or an opportunity, something of that nature, and all of a sudden, it's kind of like you're looking at your whole world shifting, particularly in a monetary sense or a professional sense or a creative sense. Now, herein lies the issue. There's either something or someone that almost kind of has an odd feeling about it, or doesn't, like, you know, they're holding on too much, or this is too closely observed, or there's something about it that causes an issue. And let's say that you can't meet eye to eye in perspective, and then there's sort of a choice. It's like the fulfillment of destiny, or letting yourself be restricted in some way. By the way, you're not going to let yourself be restricted. I don't see that happening at all. Hopefully it doesn't have to come down to that, but there's sort of wisdom here, or there's truths coming to the surface very subtly. And I feel like you're becoming aware of how there may be conflicting elements that maybe you didn't account for, or that you didn't anticipate for. And there's, I almost feel like you can predict this. You can sort of see this coming, and in a way you have to kind of prep yourself for that, or start to consider that, even if it isn't an immediate, like, right in front of you thing right now. It may be, because it does feel like it's very, close. And, it's almost like you have to choose yourself in some way, or you're going to have to break through some kind of barrier, or something or someone around you will, because, this is something that, if it affects you, right? It is something that you have either worked for or hoped for, and probably have put years of effort in, or just like something that's, it's significant, it's a big deal, and it pertains to you, and only you can make the choices around this. And you certainly can't allow yourself to be held back by smaller visions of things. It reminds me, and I mention this somewhat often, if it is a person, right, there's the poppy flower syndrome. The thing about poppy flowers, and often people, is that when one poppy grows taller than the rest, the other poppies will start to wrap around it and kind of drag it down. Yeah. Because look at this, it's It's almost like everything sort of being, whoa. And, you know, it's funny, you can't see the table, but the card fell out and it's standing halfway, like it landed in the crack of a table. I would bend down the camera, but I don't want to have to get up and mess with it, so whatever. But it's almost like, you know, let's say you've been moving towards something and then it's like, here it is. But for some reason that causes a great amount of anxiety, or there's some stressful element to it, or there's a sacrifice to be had. It's sort of like a cost of success feeling almost. And, you know, it's like justice is at the door. And it's almost like you're thinking to yourself, like, I called this in, you know, this is something I've worked for. This is something that has been brought to me or has progressed to a certain point. Clarify. And what I'll say is, you know, I'm going to say be very clear at this time, because what you don't want to happen, okay, and it does suggest that there's the potential for this to happen, so don't let it happen. You could spiral into a massive debate about it. You could get stuck on it. But the thing is I think you need to realize the gravity of like what is here. And so, and there could be a level of pain with it, but there's confusion in the sense that, you know, it's almost like not even pain, it's just like, it's almost disappointing, or it's just like, you know, I mean, clearly it's like your road is laid out here, but you're almost like needing to, you know, there's this element to it, or something that you need to let go of or move from, that, you know, it just kind of hurts, or it's just like, I wish it didn't have to be like that, or I wish it didn't have to come to that, or something like that. Now, there is the chance that it could become, you know, cohesive and everybody can get along and move forward. I'm not saying that's not possible, but the reading suggests that, like, you know just as well as I, and maybe this hasn't presented itself to you yet, but when it does, you will know just as well as I, or the cards, or whatever, that this will probably pose some kind of issue. Something is, you know, coming to an end for sure. Maybe there's been anxiety about it. Maybe there's a sense of waiting on certain things or whatever. And you're just going to ignore this and just push forward. This could be a whole other subject entirely. It could still be related because the note is the same, but there's very much clarity here. There may be sort of a hidden element too in the outside influence. Yeah, in the outside influence, we have the High Priestess, the Seven of Swords, and the Devil. So I don't know if there's like an intuition or hidden information. Or if something is binding to you in this way that is, it just, you know, holds you back somehow even. But I mean, there's clarity, there's the Magician. I don't know, I feel like this is something that you're looking at. And again, you know, I think that the issue of it is, or something, it almost seems to be ahead of you. Okay, so it's like, you know, I don't know why I keep getting that impression that some of you may not even know what I'm talking about yet. And I don't do predictions. That's not really something I do with readings, you know? So for it to feel that way, and again, maybe some of you are, but if this is resonating, definitely feel free to like and subscribe. That helps out the channel quite a bit. Share and comment, all that stuff. Let's see. You know, even before the card came out, what I heard in my head was get sharp. It's time to be sharp. Okay, it's time to be on top of your shit. And sure enough, we get the Queen of Swords. So you know, it's almost like gathering information. I feel like someone could be observing you in some way, like in a good way. Like you don't know where this is going. I feel like a lot of seeds that you planted are going to start to sprout and bring a lot of changes here, okay? This is going to be good. Like, you know, there's a sense of, especially monetary growth. Clarify the outcome. And, you know, there's sort of an interesting choice that I feel like comes with this. And, you know, it's sort of suggesting you have your inner light to guide you. It doesn't, there doesn't seem to be like a moral dilemma or anything like that. It's just this way or that way, you know, like the opportunity's here. It's like grab it or don't grab it. And it feels as simple as that. And, you know, hold on. Ooh, I just want to do this spread on. Likely outcome if you don't. You know, it doesn't suggest that things are horrible or anything like that. It's almost just like, but there's resentment, there's pain, there's now having complications to solve, there's like an opportunity missed. It's like it was all there, but you were too busy clinging to this. And, you know, it would suggest, you know, it would be not seeing clearly. You would be sort of maybe gathering the next direction to go, because, you know, it's kind of like this. It's like there's this massive thing, but if you go in the other direction, it's not that it's necessarily problematic, but all of a sudden it's just like short term. It's like starting over. It's like, well, wait for the next go around with whatever, I guess. You know what I mean? And there's sort of a sense of discouragement or resentment for it. And that's what you have to ask yourself is like, even if you, because it also sort of suggests that it would be a choice for everyone else. It would be a choice for not you. And in some cases, that's noble and what you should do. Like, say it's for your children or something. In some cases, it's like, yes, we make sacrifices, but when it's not your kids, something that feels like this and with this level of importance to it, anybody short of your kids, I wouldn't pass it up. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you found it helpful. Definitely, again, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to take it a bit further. I have an extended version that I always offer on my Patreon, which you can access in the first link in the description below. I am having a sale on all personal readings right now, which you can access through my website in the shop. If you go to that, that's in the description below as well. Check me out on Instagram, on TikTok, Patreon, all that stuff. And thank you for being here.